Hello, interwebs, and welcome to the Creeping Dark. This is going to be a 13th Age one-shot. It's going to be a learning one-shot so that we can learn the 13th Age game and see how it plays. We're keeping the group small so we can have a good instructional and play with the system. The setting currently is the current setting is that there's an uneasy balance between the most powerful people in the world, the icons. This power is slowly shifting in favor of the Lich King. As in the darkness, his forces grow in both number and in power. The undead are becoming more prevalent in the world of the living. And in the world of the living, they bring the living to the dead and just grow and grow constantly in number. Our two adventurers are members of an adventurers guild. They were to investigate a town where all the villagers had ran and evacuated in fear of the undead, in fear of one of their own. One of the farmers, named Joe, they said he was doing incredibly disturbing things, slaughtering animals not meant to be slaughtered, cutting them up, displaying their parts across the town, laughing madly. He then turned his hatchets to the townsfolk and began killing and chopping them up. They fear that he was infected by the creeping dark and have asked help from the Adventurers Guild and have got it from these two heroes. So, if you wouldn't mind introducing both yourselves, your heroes, and plugging any channels you might have on YouTube, feel free.
Hello, I'm Flo. I'll be playing Lady Dumat of House Lyon, squire to the Mad Knights. I don't have any channels to plug, and I'll hope that this session will be as enjoyable for us and as it is for you viewers.
And
Yep, I'm Nick, and I had myself muted. Anyhow, I'm playing Thyrl. He's a Dragonborn warrior. He's black. He's a black dragon descent, so his scales are all black, and he shimmers menacingly. And you would notice, first off, that he has two stumps where he used to have his horns. He wears pitch black plate armor and wields two scimitars on either side of his hips, and wears a jet black shield with no insignia on his back.
so, gentlemen, you've been given writs of command from the higher-ups in the guild. They've informed you to investigate a small farming village.
Okay.
It's a small farming village that goes by the name of Timorn. And, they grow a lot of grains and a lot of wheat that is important to the Empire and to feeding and fueling the horses of the cavalry, the charioteers, and even the alcohol within the Empire. And with the rising number of undead, they're beginning to worry that the Lich King is coming into power, and they need to make sure that in every instance that threat is stamped out. So they've tasked you to investigating Timor, seeing if you can find any survivors, protecting them, and also dispatching of any undead located there and neutralizing the situation.
All right.
All right, wonderful.
Is there
Well,
anything?
Thyrl,
Yes.
yeah, well, Thyrl would take one look at the orders and read them, and then he would begin to prepare.
Mm. Lady Dumas would finish her morning duties, finish her morning training, and then go to the. Well, I believe it would be kind of like a notice board, right?
Yes.
So she would go up to the notice board and take the assignment to go to the village, and afterward um she'd go to her room and equip her plate mail and her long it's a great sword, her two trusty axes, and her crossbow. She'd
As
look into her mirror, staring at her long red hair and into her cat-like eyes, a mark of the House Lyon, and gaze upon her visage, a wood elf in her prime, one would say.
Okay, and as you go through the motions of preparing and gazing upon yourself, admiring your beauty, once you leave to embark on this task, you notice that on the notice board that there is a younger member of the guild, and he's just going mad, tacking up several more notices for several more missions, and the increasing threat is quite obvious.
Okay, I noticed this young man that keeps on taking notices on the board, and I slowly but surely approach, making my footsteps known with a uh, confident and sure stride, and go up to him and say, "Are you sure you can handle all of these?"
He was like, "No, yes, I'm just grabbing a few for the other members and putting a few new ones up for the guild masters. I, I'm sorry, Lady Dumont, if I'm a trouble to you."
That's alright. I just hope that you're not going to entertain the notion that you might handle so many tasks at once. One at a time, dear boy, one at a time.
Oh, yes, yes, Lady Dumont. I appreciate the vote of confidence. I'm only a novice.
That's quite alright. Just don't get yourself killed.
And then as you're speaking to this young fellow, he's a young human boy, just barely in his teens. Uh, you can hear the heavy footsteps approaching behind you, and if you care to look, you see a large, muscular, black, draconic knight approaching you from behind.
Yeah, nice. All right, so Thurl would walk up and greet Lady. What's your name again? Lady
Come on.
Dumont, and he would say, Oi, Lady Dumat. It seems we'll work together on this.
A pleasure to meet you, Thyrl.
And he, being a kind of raised as a soldier, would give Lady Dumat a slight, not a bow, but a nod of respect for her rank, and and stand waiting to leave.
Yeah, she'll return with a salute and uh, and proceed to say, "Let us carry on forward at the task at hand."
Indeed.
And our two travelers set off into the direction of the village.
Yes, as you set off, you're you're experienced and the both of you have done several missions in the past and have had a history of training and combat experience. Another young boy. This one is a dwarf. His beard is barely but a few inches grown off his face. You know, he's old in maybe dragonborn years, but compared to an elf and other dwarves, he's quite young, barely into adolescence. And he's dragging behind him two horses, and he's yelling out, "Oi, oi! Here, take some provisions."
Ah,
And Thyrl would approach him and give him a curt nod and say, "Hey, that's a good lad," and flick him a copper piece and take the provisions and horse that he had provided.
Yeah, as you give him a nod, he sort of gets a real large, cheesy grin that is quite obvious even through the facial hair he has.
Yeah, nice. Boy, you should have something nice with that.
Lady Dumas gives a slight nod to the little dwarf and starts checking through the provisions as well.
Yeah, before turning to leave, he's as you saw earlier, he's grinning and smiling, looking back and forth at the both of you, and he's like, It's my pleasure to serve, my pleasure to serve." And he nods at Lady Dumont. He goes, "My lady," and he turns around and walks away, almost with a proud bounce to his step.
Nice.
As you look through the provisions, Lady Dumont, there are, you know, several packages of trail rations, dried fruit, dried meats. You have about 3 or 4 water skins. You have some extra ammo for your crossbow, as well as ropes and tents, sleeping bags, and the like. It's only going to be a couple days' journey. It's not that it's that far. He was just quite obviously trying to impress you, the both of you.
Yeah. Did a good job.
Charming lad. Let us be off. And she goes on to put herself gracefully on the horse's back. And if you have no objections, ride into the direction of the village.
Absolutely. So, and Thyrl would definitely be employing his full perceptive abilities at all times while traveling. Having the background of commando, he used guerrilla tactics plenty in his day, so he would definitely be on the lookout for any such attacks at all times.
As would our fair lady, for she is a squire of the Mad Knight, and She knows that she has to be of fluid mind at all times. That means expecting the unexpected and doing the unexpected from time to time.
Yes, on the road, uh, the first day's travel, it goes without incident. You just see a lot of refugees and villagers, some of which are actually from the village you intend to, investigate. They're crying. Some of them are scarred, bandaged up. Some are even missing limbs, but have managed to survive their ordeal.
Uh-huh.
They'll approach you and ask about, would you help us? I'm from, Timor, and some mention other villages and towns that there's there's these little pocket events happening all over the place that you're noticing, but your mission is in Timor currently.
Uh-huh.
So, you
And could I question one of the villagers that had come from Timor, or?
if you would like, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure. He would stop and he would ask around anyone hailing from Timor, and until he found one, and then he would ask, "Oi, what's the situation at your homestead?"
It's like, Farmer Joe, he's gone mad, I tell you, mad.
He says, "Yes, I've heard the reports, but how many men down? How many men wounded? What are we walking into here?"
He, he, he cut up my wife to pieces.
And, and, no-
Pieces!
and nobody could stop this one man.
No, when some people went to confront him, there was undead. And they were killed. They were torn apart.
Wait, so this Joe, he brought the undead scourge with him?
Yes, I don't know. Maybe it's a necromancer. I mean, Farmer Joe, he's a simple lad.
And he would at this point start ignoring the villager, and he would turn his attention to Lady Dumont, and he would say, "Oi, the situation may be more grave than we initially imagined. We should head double time."
indeed. Let's just make haste. And she wouldn't have this. She wouldn't have gotten off of her horse, but still listening on the conversation with intent. And after finishing saying, "Let us make haste," she would have urged on the horse to double time it.
As would Thyrl, of course, whilst still being aware of his surroundings as best as he could at this double pace.
Yeah, sure. In keeping your eyes open, it's not very difficult, but you manage to see the straggling zombie walking around, looking, of course, like just a poor townsfolk that couldn't make it.
Okay.
You can choose to circumvent them by going a little bit off the road, or just plowing through them, riding as fast as you can, or actually stop to relieve their souls from their tortured form.
Okay, so seeing this, Thrall would put up a fist in the stop, the universal stop signal, and he would bring his horse about, and he would look to Lady Dumont, and he would say, "We should put these down. I'll go around, get their attention. You flank in from the rear. It'll be quick."
And Lady Dumas will just do a short nod and will say, "Yeah, let's put the horses in. Let's tie up the horses to a nearby tree so that they wouldn't be frightened by the attacking zombies." if we go in weapons in hand.
Okay, Thyrl will go along with it. Why not?
And Lady Dumas, being a squire, she'd tie up the horses to the nearby tree, because you did say that they had rope,
Yes.
and brandish her two axes in hand.
Okay, and as soon as they were ready, Thyrl would move around the group to the rear, putting Lady Dumont across from them and him, and then he would create a mighty clamber and charge into battle.
Okay. So if you would be kind enough to roll me your initiatives.
Okay.
Do you want me to just use my dice or what?
Yeah. If you can't use the dice stream, then go ahead and use your dice.
I mean, I guess I could turn my camera on, but I mean, I just wasn't planning on using it today.
1d20.
I can't find
right
my
up.
dice, so I better put my goddamn shit. They're everywhere.
15 plus 3. Okay, so I'm 19 in.
If you wouldn't mind just typing your initiative into the chat side.
All right, so I rolled a 19. So that's just +1 for my guy, I think. So 20.
All right.
I think I am going to turn my camera on because I always roll too good to be true. I don't want to be questioned.
It's all right.
How many zombies are we talking about here?
You see, it's not like it's a horde, but there's two small groups of roughly 5 in every group.
And you did by the way you described it, it kind of sounded like our characters would think we could handle this, right? I mean, we're not doing anything stupid here, are we?
Well, not terribly, no.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, because I just kind of figured high power level, why not just fuck them up? All right, cool. There's my camera. So, I'll set this up if you want to get us started. I mean, I'll try to get this thing dealing so we can do our dice.
Well, you rolled higher than me, essentially.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm probably going to go ahead with the zombies, but I'm not for sure. So.
Yeah, well, Thyrl does have the initiative.
Yeah.
Thyrl. Which makes sense, because that goes along with our plan.
Yeah, so you're making noise behind, far behind, or keeping both groups in between you, or are you moving between the two groups so that you and Lady Dumont can flank one of the groups?
I was gonna try to get them into one big blob if I think I could handle that. But if I only think I could handle one at a time, then I would try to set up the ambush on just the one group, quickly dispose of them, and then turn our attention to the other.
Yeah, they just look like, villagers that may have succumbed to some of their wounds and, the tribulations of an unprepared, rapid escape.
So they're not. They're shambling. They're slow. They're not armed. They're
not armed. They don't have. It's not like they have any weapons on them.
Okay.
They're just wearing, for the most part, coveralls. Some are shirtless. And some just look like they may have been a family of travelers, where one might have died, and you get the feeling that it raised and killed the rest of its own family.
Okay. All right. I'm opening Dice Stream now. Okay, so can I use a skill check to size up the situation and just get a yes or no? Can I handle them all? Can't I? Kind of thing.
Okay, it would be more or less an intelligence check.
Okay.
Or your choice between intelligence and wisdom.
Okay. And I would I mean, I guess as like a a professional fighter and soldier, I would have a pretty good. What would I get some of my skill for that too, or?
From which one? Your commando background?
Yeah, yeah. Of setting traps I mean, this is what I did for a living, was set up traps and take people down. I mean, it was always our business to know what was too much to bite,
Okay, I would say that you could apply your entire commando bonus to this
Okay.
skill check.
So that'll be 5 plus 2 from wisdom. So I'll roll the d20 now. So plus 7 on this.
Yeah, most definitely. You notice that you could probably, if the situation would dictate that
Mm-hmm.
with the groups separated as far as they are, they might be
Mm-hmm.
easier to dispatch one group rapidly, and then swiftly move on to the second group, rather than taking on,
Okay.
rather than being outnumbered 5-1 in one larger battle.
Okay, so then he would use hand signals to confer that information to Lady Dumont and position himself in a way that would be easy for her to come in and quickly flank the one group, and then hopefully we can dispatch that quickly and move to the other in the second or third rounds. Yeah.
Okay, Lady Dumont. I understand that your background is only as a squire
Yeah.
and not a professional knight. So
No.
I would say roll with your squire bonus and intelligence check to see how well you can interpret the hand signal information he's giving you.
Awesome.
All right. So it's like
So you would use a 1d20,
okay.
and then you would add your intelligence modifier and your background modifier for squire. So your intelligence is at a
10.
intelligence or wisdom. So we'll use wisdom.
I'll go with wisdom because it's better. So it's 10 plus 4. 30.
So you have 13. So yeah,
30 with 3 and a 0.
Oh wow! So you know exactly what group to take, and you can see which of the two groups is actually moving faster than the other ones. One group actually looks more or less like it's been dead longer, so they're a little bit slower. The group with the family, it looks like it may be 3 adults and a couple of children.
Mm-hmm.
They're moving pretty slow. I mean, pretty fast. Like they are more recently dead.
Yeah. So I would make an assessment that the easiest one to the sort of like take the harder ones to fight first, and then the slower ones afterwards, because the slower ones won't be getting away that fast from us, to eliminate the risk of them retreating and finishing everyone from one fell swoop, so to speak.
I agree.
Okay, so they are actually starting to move towards Thyrl because he was making noise.
Mm-hmm.
Both groups are moving towards you, but the group further away is moving slower.
Okay, cool.
And it's your turn first. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm gonna just come in with my my attack, I guess.
Okay.
And do I make 2 with my because
you make 1. You're dual wielding. That does
Yeah.
not give you an extra attack, but because of your character's powers and abilities,
Yes.
it you might trigger something like your 2-weapon pressure. Meaning if you miss, you get a bonus on your next attack roll.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's a 10 plus. Where do I get the from my strength?
Your melee basic attack. It has the hit.
Yep.
It's
There
attack
it is.
plus
So
5
15.
versus AC.
15,
So you get a total of 15, and you hit. So roll 2d8 plus your
Okay.
+3 for your swords.
Okay, so 2d8s. So a 6 and a 7 looks like. So 13 plus 3 is 16.
So you do 16 damage. Would you like to describe how you drop 3 of them?
Um, yeah. So he runs up and he raises his left scimitar into the air and flashes it around in the sunlight and gets the 3 to look up at it. And as they all 3 look up at the scimitar in his left hand, his right hand comes across and decapitates all 3 in just a sweet swoosh.
Okay, so I'm assuming because it's one motion that all 3 were the same size,
Yeah.
and that would be the 3 adults.
Okay. Cool.
All right, so you decapitated the 3 adults, and their corpses just fall upon the floor lifeless. Lady Dumat, it is actually your go, and only the 2 children remain.
Alright, I'm
Oh.
rolling my d6 for my Elven Grace. Escalation would be...
At this point, the escalation die is 0.
So
At the
it's
end of this
1.
round, it would go up by 1. So you get only your single action for now.
So it's like I've got my 2 actions, or I didn't.
No, you only got the 1.
Okay. With my 1 action, I...
Oh.
oh god.
Hey, can I interject here just for a quick second?
Sure.
Do I also get my quick action?
You do get a quick action.
Can I interrupt his turn to use it, or should I just wait till next?
No, well, say it, because I wouldn't have... if you think your turn isn't over, go say it. What's your action?
It would be his breath weapon. I forgot about his breath weapon. It's a quick action.
Okay, so you decapitate and then you breathe.
So it would be all at once. He would decapitate, and as he's decapitating, he would open his mouth, and this and it kind of like, you know, the lizards, how the underneath their chins will puff out, like
Mhm.
the big stacks will puff out. Well, that happens, and then this stream of acid just squirts forward as the 2 stacks recompress. And that's a +4 versus PD on that attack.
So roll your attack.
Okay, cool.
Clear your dice stream, please.
Okay, yep. So an 8 + 4 is only a 12.
That is barely enough to hit.
Okay, and then it's going to be 2d6.
So roll your 2d6.
And it's 5 more.
It's 5. So you manage to melt one of the children.
Okay, cool. Nice.
So there's only the morality of killing one child is all that Lady Dumat has to deal with now.
Yes. Yeah, I felt bad about that, so I thought I'd help.
It's okay. I'll do my quick action, which is Invocation of War. I'll increase the escalation die by 1.
Okay, so we'll say you did that. So now
Yeah.
the escalation is from 0 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
You want to roll your d6 for your racial ability?
Yep. 4.
So that's too high, so it doesn't work.
Too high?
Yeah, you have to roll less than the escalation die.
Oh.
At the beginning of your turn, you roll a d6 to see if you get an extra standard
Equal
action.
or lower?
Yeah, equal or lower.
Okay. So I'll use the. Let me describe the attack. Seeing the remaining children, she raises her weapons in hand and smites with an incredible force ripping them to shreds. Effectively, I'm using smite.
Sure, no problem.
So I have to do
Are you There's only one left though.
shit. Um,
In this group,
I thought there were a few more.
there are, but they're currently they were far away, and they've
Oh.
shambled up to nearby this round.
Yeah,
But they're not. Yeah, you're not currently engaged with that group.
I'd like to ask a question. Would Lady Dumont, having seen me dispatch almost the entire group, maybe make an improvised decision to attack the other, possibly? I mean, they could just all fall.
It's
Yeah.
entirely up to her.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, let me do a fate die to see if she'd make the. Yeah, she will look a bit disgusted and go to the other group.
She's gonna leave me to kill the other child, that bitch.
Sorry, that's how the fate die rolls.
Yeah.
So she's moving this round.
Yeah, sure. She can actually move to an engaged range because the other group was shambling closer because of the noise that Tyr was making.
Mm-hmm.
So she would be able to engage with that group by herself.
Okay. I'll have to roll for hit 2d8 plus 4.
Well, you have to roll your attack first. So first you roll the d20 and add a 6.
Okay. So 15, 21.
Yeah, solid hit. Now
Okay.
you would roll your 2d8 plus 4 weapon damage.
Okay, and this time I'm smiting. Okay. 2d8.
So that's 2d8 plus 1d12 plus 4.
Damn!
1d12.
You're about to show me up.
Not really. Because
Oh,
I
wow.
have 6 plus 12. And that's 16.
So you drop 2 of them in that one strike.
Actually, it's 16 plus. Wait, it's 16 plus 6, so it's 22. It's 4
How?
plus. Because it's a 2d8 plus 4, and it's a plus 1 d. Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, you have
Never mind.
2 plus 1 is 3, plus 3 is 6, plus 4 is 10. So you drop 2 of them.
It's 2. And
Mhm.
I've smited 2 in one turn. Next.
Would you like to describe how you smite them?
I would be running towards them and do a jumping attack with my 2 axes in hands, both of my hands, and raining righteous fury upon them, almost in an ecstatic sensation, looking all crazy-eyed.
So with 2 quick swipes of your sword, you just barely graze
Axes.
2 of them. Huh?
Axes.
Oh, you're using your axes. I'm sorry. With a swipe of each of your axes, you sort of cut through them, and then in the wound that you left, it glows bright with light, and then that light begins to rapidly expand, consuming the corpse, leaving nothing but bones. All the flesh is gone.
All right.
And now it's the zombies' go.
Mm-hmm.
So the faster group, the one with the one child left, the child turns to Tyr, Thyrl, sorry.
Yep.
Turns to Thyrl, and it almost looks like it recognizes the corpse of its family. It's looking down and examining each corpse individually before turning to look up at you. And you get the sense from its eyes that there's a mote of the personality it once had, and if it could muster a tear, it would be crying right now. its face looks like it's in a deep emotional pain, and it jumps out at you.
Okay.
So that's your AC is 19, correct?
19. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a second. It's +5, so
That's tied my AC.
19. So it actually manages to hit you.
Okay.
And let me go here for zombie shuffler. And it leaps out at you, and ends up sort of headbutting you on your lower jaw, closing your jaw from your recent breath attack, slamming it
Okay.
shut, and you take 3 points of damage.
Okay. All right. So from 48 to 45. Okay.
And the second group, there's, this group was full of mostly adults, and some of them were more elderly victims, and the corpses were slower. After sort of almost vaporizing the two in one strike, the three of them shamble around you and just start collapsing on you. Okay, so two of them miss, but almost by sheer coincidence and accident, as you're dodging the blows, you accidentally dodge directly into one, and it scores a critical hit against you. And he claws at your back for a total of 6 points of damage, Lady Dumat.
Okay, so it's -6.
And it is now Thyrl's turn.
Okay. All right. So let me just. All right. All right. So Thyrl will try to catch the child as he headbutts him, and pull him in front of his face and say to him, "Oi, child, I'll put you to your rest. You can rejoin those you've lost." And then he would open his mouth again, and those stacks would fill, and this just kind of gurgling ichor would just spit forward as he hopefully doesn't miss at point blank range.
Okay, but it's for an encounter.
What?
The breath weapon? The breath
Oh,
weapon
is it?
once.
Oh,
Yes.
is it for encounter? Okay, I'm sorry. My bad.
It's once per encounter.
Okay.
If
Okay,
you would like to do like a bite attack.
No, it's cool. Yeah, let's. I kind of want to get myself over. Can I take the attack? I'll just try to chop his head off then, and then can I just move myself and get into the fray over there?
Sure.
Okay. So that's what I'll do then. So instead of the breath thing happening, he says his bit and then tries to take the head off. And please, oh my God. Okay, so it's a 10. I'm guessing that's going to be a miss.
A 10 total?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what happens. You do manage to connect. As you feel your scimitar connecting with the child's neck, your Thyrl blacks out. And he only blacks out for a second. But when he does, he gets a vision of the three lording over him. And he sees himself running away in fear of the three. Disgraced member of the commando group, And
it was the Horned Reapers.
Yeah.
The Horned
Yeah.
Reapers.
disgraced member of the Horned Reapers, and you're you're running away from your past in this vision. And when you come to, you no longer see the child. You see Lady Dumat and the three zombies crowding her, and you have engaged the secondary group already.
Okay. And with no recollection of what happened to the child.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
If you care to look back, I'll let you know what happened.
Oh yeah, sure. He would look back.
Yeah, as he looks back, he sees the corpse of the beheaded child, the head still just barely falling from the air as the corpse has already hit the ground.
Oh, okay. And he would kind of stoically nod, and then a shiver would run up his spine as he turned to face the rest.
All right, beautiful. So, Lady Dumat.
So while this is happening, Lady Dumas, having b- well, attempting to dodge all of the moves, but failing right at the end, she has this look upon her face of righteous fury and almost ecstatic pleasure as she starts whirlwinding with her axes in hand and chops up into little bits the remaining zombies. And that would be a d20 to hit.
It's 1d20 plus 6 for your attack.
11.
So you got a total. Yeah, you have a total of 11. You actually miss pretty badly for this group, but you manage to, in your frenzy and your whirlwind, you end up only just barely nicking away at their jaws. You cut a few noses off and a few ears, maybe a finger or two that was reaching out towards you, and they only take 2 points of damage. But
All right.
all three of them are still up.
Okay, zombie turn.
All right, with the gore on Thyrl. One of them is diverting his attention to Thyrl. The one that managed to tear at your back is has the fresh blood on its claws. It's going to continue pressing its attack, and the final one, I'm going to roll randomly with a d4. On a low attack, it attacks Lady Dumat, I mean. So he continues the attack of Lady Dumat. So 2 continue attacking Lady Dumat. And wow.
Oh no.
Yeah, so the one that had clawed you, in your frenzy, the reason that none of your swings landed a solid blow was that you were actually off balance. And when spinning around, it threw you a little further off balance, and the second one managed to crit you for 6 damage. And the one that had clawed away at you before continues to claw away at you for another 3 points of damage, so you take 9 points total. And the one that shifted its attention to Thyrl, yeah, couldn't hope to hit him. His claws are just cleanly sort of scraping with almost no force at all on your plate mail, on your black plate mail.
Okay, cool. Nice. So we had a viewer, but Matt's game just started, so he had to go to that. Anyhow, so is that back around to Thyrl then?
Yes, sir. It is now Thyrl's go.
Okay, so I think I'll just roll my attack and then describe it after we resolve damage and everything. Just since the way that this works is kind of cinematic. Okay. Is that cool with you or?
Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Okay, cool. So let's get rid of those, and I'll roll my roll 20. So this is 20 plus 5. Oh, fuck, it's a 9! God damn it!
Yeah.
What the fuck, Dice Stream?
Well, would you like to describe your miss, or would you like me to describe it?
Yeah. So Thyrl, coming back to his to lucidity, would kind of shake off the visions, and then seeing Lady Dumat struggling with this zombie on her back, he would have tried to "This is Sparta" kick the zombie off, but I'm guessing that he would have slipped in a bit of maybe ichor on the ground and kind of fallen back with wide-eyed surprise in his eyes as his kick just biffs it.
Yeah, you do manage to quite barely connect preemptively with your knee, and deal 2 more damage to one of the zombies.
Okay, cool.
Okay, my turn. Growing ever more enraged because of would it be appropriate to say that escalation has risen?
Yes, the escalation dice will now be 2.
Okay, so if it escalated, does it mean that what? It's +2?
Well, this is the end of the second round, right?
Yeah.
I think this is the 3rd round, and I didn't actually count in those dice. I'll start doing that next round. Whoops.
Yeah. So how do we count it?
Well, the first round is at 0.
Yeah, but I used the Invocation of War to raise it at 1.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I completely forgot about that. That is my fault. I'm sorry. So actually, escalation is now 3.
Fuck, dude, I should have hit. Fucking goddamn it.
Go ahead, roll your damage then. Roll your damage.
No, go, let him go. I'll keep remembering from now on, and that's just how it's going to be.
So first one would be right. She roars like a lion's roar. You would see this lioness blood-soaked and really enraged, and now she doesn't care about the fancy whirlwind. She just flings her arms around with axes in hand and starts yelling, "You're gonna die!"
Don't forget to roll your d6 for Elven Grace.
All right, d6. It's equal.
So you do get 2 standard actions this turn.
All right, 1d10.
2 standard actions? What the fuck?
Ouch!
Oh no!
And just roll your second attack action, and we'll resolve that 1 afterwards.
Okay. 7.
Oh no, I'm in range.
Yeah, so the second one would be a total of 11. No, so, it's 7 plus 6 13. Equals 13.
Plus the escalation dice, which, it's been my fault. I apologize.
So how many?
Plus 3. The escalation dice is 3, so you would add an additional 3 and get a total of 16.
Yeah, 16 to hit. So with 16 to hit, I'd have to roll my standard melee attack, which is 2d8. Okay. And that's 6 plus 4.
Plus
10.
4, so you deal 10 damage. So the resolution of the roll of 1 is that in your lioness-like fury, you connect squarely with these 2 enemies, the ones that have been literally tearing you apart. And with the first attack, your first axe gets securely lodged in the chest of the first zombie, and as it falls, your grip is loosened, and you just let the axe fall with the first one. And as you attack the second one, you hit it squarely in the chest as well, and your axe is also stuck in that one, and as it falls, you let it fall, and you stand there, heaving in your rage, unarmed.
Oh yeah, badass.
And with that, just basking in the glory, she'll yell, "Yes!" With a pleasure. And with that, can I do a rally?
Um, Most definitely, yes, sir.
And for rally, I need to roll recovery 2d10s plus 2.
Yes. So you use one of your recoveries.
Mm-hmm. And I heal.
Oof,
19 plus 2 equals
21.
21. So I've got back to plus 21. That's oh yeah, I'm full health.
Uh, so I just had a quick question, real fast. My character sheet, I have an ability called Tough as Iron that says you
Yes.
can rally as a quick action instead of a standard action.
Yes.
So
It's
does
it's normally a standard action, but I let him rally because it was a pretty cool thing that happened, and she was standing there completely unarmed.
okay, I'm cool with it. I just was making sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, cool.
I pulled DMV. I know. I know.
No, hey, it's all right. I was just making sure I understood what was going on because
Yes. You are correct though.
you're cheaping my ability, man. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm about to cry, baby. All right, so that's zombies now. Is there any
So
left?
yeah, there's one left that was scraping at you, and
Mhm.
as the other two drop and the space is open, it looks like it was scraping at you, but instead of actually swinging an attack, it's more leaning on your plate mail on your chest, and it's turning around and just reaching for Lady Dumont, but not actually attacking.
Okay. Oh man, that's
So
great.
yeah, it is your go now.
It's my go now. Okay, so I'm gonna roll the die and then I'll do my description real quick. Here we go. Um, okay, so is the escalation now 4?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so it's gonna be +9 to this roll then. Oh crap, I didn't do this. And what did I roll? I rolled an 8 plus 9, so that's gonna definitely be a hit. Okay, and 2d8 damage. 2d8 plus 3, I believe. Okay, so that'll be enough. Okay, so seeing that the others had been dispatched and kind of recovering from his bit of a stumble, Thyrl would whip around and with his tail he would trip the last remaining zombie, and then he would bring his scimitar down right where on his neck, and just in like a downward motion, just disconnect the spine from the head. Not fully severing it because the blade width isn't big enough for that, but he would come down with and try to not decapitate, but definitely destroy this thing.
Yeah, as you spin around masterfully with the tail whip and slice your scimitar into its neck, you do
Mhm.
manage to sever its spine, and the tip of the scimitar would contact the ground and stick in. And for a moment, it's stuck in the ground, and then the zombie just sort of slides down the blade
Nice,
and is now
nice,
motionless on the floor.
nice.
You guys have successfully dispatched of all these roaming zombies.
And the second it was done, Thurl would sharply look to Lady Dumont and say, "Oi, you all right?"
Uh, you could see her kneeling right now, grasping for air, almost ecstatic and almost uh, surprised of uh, her unladylike behavior, and then just raises when she hears Are you alright? She just gets up to her feet, starts cleaning the blood off. Yeah, I'm fine now, and starts recovering her two axes and sheaves them back. Let's get back to the horses.
All right,
We'll have to go near a river to clean this up.
All right, and as she says that, Thyrl would say, "At least let me take a look at the back," and he would come up and inspect Lady Dumont with a keen eye, the eye of a minorly trained combat medic. It was definitely not his first trade as a commando, but he did have some bandaging time and skills and whatnot, and seeing that she seems to be okay, he would say, "Oh, indeed, you appear to be fine," and then he would look around and now in this world, is it customary to burn the undead or what? Is there any kind of
Whatever you wish. This is
Okay.
the kind of environment that it's very malleable and adaptable to the players. So
All right.
if it would be customary for your guy, then every soldier in your background would also carry on that custom.
Okay.
So Lady Dumat would have brought the horses a lot nearer to their location, and given Sir Thyrl a few ropes here, and tosses to him. Let's round them up and start the fire.
Yeah, Thyrl would look to Lady Dumont and say, "Oh, I don't think that'll be too necessary. Just help me get them into a pile." And then he would, if she helps or if she doesn't, he would proceed to pile them on top of each other. And as he did each one, he would say a short prayer to the golden wyrm to help usher their spirits along to the afterlife. And then once they were in a big pile, he would kind of sit in front of them for a moment, and as he did so, he would have this look of calm, almost meditation, and over the course of maybe 2 or 3 minutes, the sacks underneath his chin would slowly fill and fill and fill until they're even much larger than they were in the heat of battle. And as he does so, a little I don't know if reptiles sweat or not, but if they do, then little beads of sweat would start to show up around him, and finally at the end of it, he would open his mouth and just this like gushing torrent of this acid that he had been accumulating in his glands would rush out and melt and consecrate the ground in front of him.
After Lady Dumont finished helping forming the single file, she would say a little prayer for their souls, and then just give Thyrl one of the water recipients, or the leather-bound water thingies.
Yeah, you can have either water skins or gourd, whatever's easier for you.
Water skin. She'd give him a water skin and some rags. Here, clean yourself up. And
He'd say,
she
"Oh, go ahead."
uses she puts the water on the rags and starts cleaning her armor and her wounds.
And he would Thyrl would gratefully take the items and nod to her and say, "We'll clean our equipment and leave in 5. We should make it there in good time still." And then he would go about cleaning and
Yeah.
carrying and oiling his weapons and armor.
Yeah.
As Thyrl is doing that, just ever so slightly in the periphery of his vision, the corpses melting with the acid he just utterly blasted them with. There's a putrid smoke, not like fire. It's very faint, but it's rising from the mass that was once bodies. And Thyrl could almost swear he sees a vision of the three in the smoke, rising into the sky, almost mockingly.
And as he sees this, the scales along his head and his shoulders and even his arms would kind of stand up on edge, almost as if an animal with his cackles raised, and another shiver would go up his spine, and then he would kind of shake off the vision and spit on the ground and continue his work in silence.
Yes, and for Lady Dumont, the horses almost seem to comfort you, or be seeking to comfort you, as they nudge you and softly rub their noses across your armor and the back of your head, trying to comfort you, because the House of Lion is so in tune with their primal nature.
Uh, Lady Dumas, after finishing cleaning her equipment, she pets the horses. She feeds them their horse feed, what little she had in her bags that would be of wheat, and she gives them and pets them, sort of in a very gentle, very hushed tone, tries to calm them down as well. And after they've finished uh, cleaning their equipment and doing all of the necessary procedures, she says to Thyrl, "Come on, let's go. We've spent too much time here." And she hops on the horse and rides towards the village.
And Thurl would be riding abreast.
Okay, now, are you trying to ride hard and straight through to cut the 2 days of travel down into more like a day and a half?
Uh, Yes, but not if it's reckless.
Uh,
Okay.
I'd like to go for a middle ground if I could, if it was reckless.
There's one thing I have to tell you for Lady Dumont.
yeah.
You have your smites and your invocation of war.
Mm-hmm.
They do not return to you until you have a full night's of rest. So
Alright.
if you do not rest, you will not have your invocation of war, and you'd be down to only two smites left for the day.
Would it be appropriate to say that as soon as they reach a nearby river, they'd make camp for the night?
It would be entirely appropriate. It's actually 2 days of normal travel from your current position.
Okay, so
Even if we scrambled, we could get just right outside and camp, or we could get to a river camp and then scramble, and still make it there a little bit early.
mm-hmm.
So
I'd say make camp near the river.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to a source of fresh water before we make camp for sure.
All right, that's no problem. You guys take a little bit of a detour. You find yourself. It's not a big river. It's more of a small stream. It's not very deep, but the river does run fast and clean.
Okay.
So if you'd like to make camp, this would be the perfect spot.
Yeah. Lady Dumas will turn to Sir Thyrl. Will you
Hmm.
take first watch, or shall I?
He turns and he says, "Oi, you had a horse back there. I'll take first watch."
All right. And after um, refilling their leather pouches with clean water and cleaning up the rags that were bloodied, she'd pull up the sleeping bags and put the equipment near her so that if need be, she'd have the weapons in hand at a moment's notice.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, and Thurl before returning to camp, he would probably he would go out into the, is it woodland around this river? Are we still in the woods, or where are
Yeah.
we?
Well, yeah. You have to go a little bit deeper into the woods to get by the river.
Okay, cool. So he would set up a few like simple alarm snares, something that would make a cracking sound, or maybe a little bit of you know some stuff like that, some stuff that he would have prior knowledge in.
Yeah, it's like trapping and hunting. Roll me a wisdom for that.
Okay, can I use some of my background for that as a raider,
As a raider.
as a commando? Yeah, as someone who is trained to keep watch and watch the back of their comrades, and in a small party that goes deep into enemy terrain.
Uh, yeah, sure. Go ahead, go for it. Add your full bonus.
All right. Okay, so that's going to be 5 plus 5 plus 2. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so 5 plus 2 is 7, so it's a 10. It's
You struggle, but you managed to get some twig traps and some noisemakers going that you think are acceptable.
okay. And then he would go back and start a full clean on himself, and then a full clean on his equipment as he's taking note. But he would never he would just take one piece of armor off at a time and clean it and replace it, so that he's not all the way unarmored at any one point throughout the night, throughout his first watch. And he would sit in front of the fire probably and watch out with his back to the river.
So this is not historically accurate plate mail.
Well,
I understand.
well, no, I mean like breastplate, pauldron. Yeah, I mean leg piece. They don't they have different pieces that they put on, like the
Plate mail is
greaves
layered.
and then the.
Yeah, but plate mail is usually layered.
All
Like
right, well then he takes the full
shoulder.
goddamn. He takes
Nah,
the full
it's
goddamn
fine.
armor
It doesn't. It's not going to make a difference. I'm just busting
Okay.
your chops,
Oh no, it's cool. It's cool. I can be busted.
Mr. Melting Bodies.
Hey man.
All right. The night passes fairly uneventfully. You do hear some noises and some crackling and breaking of branches. Not very loud. You think maybe there might be a small animal or two. Nothing, no large or numerous sort of sounds. You don't hear any moans or groans. At best, you might hear a little bit of through the woods if that came through on my mic.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's very faint. The noises you would hear
Okay. Do we get our HP back after a rest?
after a full rest. Yes, you get everything.
Okay.
All your HP,
This,
all your abilities, everything.
this
Okay.
counts as a full rest, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So you take about 16 hours from where you were. So that way, you know, 8-hour rest for one of you and an 8-hour rest for the other one.
Yeah.
So when you wake up, it's it was about midday. Well, a little bit mid-evening, I would say, in the last encounter. So it would be about midday now, as Thyrl wakes from his slumber. And again, Lady Dumont hears those same sounds, the little cracks of twigs, the little scurrying of small critters about. A lot of little sharp footsteps. You can tell that they're footsteps, or they sound like footsteps of tiny critters, due to your elven hearing.
Mm-hmm. All right. In this meantime, she would have fed the horses, put them near the water so they'd have plenty to eat, plenty grass to eat, and plenty of water to drink. Even if she was asleep or awake, she'd start grooming them, all of the while uh, keeping her ears and eyes, well, one eye on the horses, one eye to the woods, so to speak, and both of her ears peeled to her surrounding. But since she hasn't heard anything, she started her squirrely routine, prayer, uh, light combat training, and so on and so forth. And since she has seen that the full 8 hours have gone by uneventful, when the 8 hours pass, she wakes up Cyril.
As you go to wake up Thyrl, and Thyrl is getting prepared for the day, or I guess before he wakes, since he's missing. Oh, there he goes. Um, as you go to wake up Thyrl, and Thyrl is getting prepared for the travel of the day, you notice that the horses seem jumpy, spooked, and they're sort of jumping around, neighing and making noise. They're no longer content at your presence anymore.
Uh, Looking at this curious development, uh, would she think that something's wrong? Because she has been taking care of them for about 8 hours.
Oh yes, it's quite obvious that in your presence they seem to be very calm and nurturing and almost empathetic to you. But now your presence doesn't seem to have any effect on them at all. It's almost like they're dealing with strangers, or it's almost like they have someone who's a meanie in a stable poking at them with a stick. Is how they're
So,
reacting.
so as you're doing this, Thurl, watching this scene, would come up from behind you, and you would feel a calm but firm hand on your left shoulder as he says, "Let me take a look at that back again."
All right.
And then he would inspect the wound from the day earlier on Lady Dumont's back a second time.
The wound looks fine.
Uh,
The damage to the armor actually looked worse the previous day. Now that it's been cleaned and taken care of, it looks like the damage to the armor was very minimal, and the spaces in between the armors where she actually took her damage. But she looks perfectly fine.
hmm. Well, that's odd. Are they shying away from me at all, or?
They're not shying. They're jumpy. They're starting to jump up and shake around and whip their heads back and forth.
So I would try to take my mount and see if it was reacting to me in the same fashion.
So you go up and you grab the reins of your mount.
Yes, I would do that. Absolutely.
As you go up and you grab the reins of your mount, you notice that at the feet of the mount and Some are even at the hind quarters of the mount, climbing up, digging into it. You see disembodied hands, the long elongated nails and bones just clawing into the sides as it climbs up the mount.
Um, uh, as Lady Dumas sees this, because she was looking a bit worried, because she has been taking care of them all night. Well, not night, but 8 hours. Still, she's like, let's break camp and run. We're not welcome here anymore.
So how does zombification spread in this setting? Is it well known, or?
No, nobody knows exactly at the moment. They just know that the undead are growing in number.
So I would try to remove these things from my horse. He would probably use his scimitar to try to pry them off, and maybe kick them into the fire or something like that. So that's what he would try to do, and then get a better assessment on the health of the mount.
By fire, I'm assuming a campfire, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't unlit it, so to speak.
Okay, I don't remember you guys lighting it, but it's fine.
Oh, I just made an assumption on that. I mean, if you want to say we didn't have one, I can spit on him. I mean, it's not. It's either or. I mean.
Yeah, no, it's fine. These, even though some of them are digging into the mount, you may hurt the mount a bit, and have to kick away the ones at the feet. But as long as you and Lady Dumat work together, you should be able to clear the hands off of the mounts.
Yeah, Lady Dumas would have been helping him all of the way, because we kind of need them.
Well, we're gonna ride them until they get a fever, and then that's it. That's off with the head.
So yeah, you guys mount up, and you see in the areas where there's a little bit less thinner grass, it's visible that they have these disembodied hands crawling around on the floor as if they were spiders.
Just all over the place.
There's not a huge horde of them, no, but it's maybe a few dozen.
And they're just scattered throughout the woods around our camp.
That you can see they seem to be swarming up at your current location. There seems to be more and more, and now that you've seen them, you're spotting them easily against the bark of trees and stuff. You may have not spotted them before because they may have seemed, like there were spiders and the small, tiny little motions of critters, and the noises they're making as they're walking across the bark of the trees and crushing little twigs sounds exactly like the noises you were hearing the previous night.
Oh, gross. Oh. All right, so Thyrl would look at Lady Dumont and he would say, "Oi, Lady Dumont, this land seems to be desecrated. We should make haste. We'll ride the horses till they can't ride any longer, and then put them down."
I agree. We cannot linger here any longer. Let us make haste, and they both ride them up until they see the village.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride my horse. I'm gonna ride this thing hard. I'm just gonna try to get every little bit I can out of it before it's spent.
Yeah, so you're sort of digging into it with your heels and everything, and it's already suffered a few wounds at the hand of the hands.
Yeah.
And even before you get to the town, it seems to be sort of losing steam, and by the time you see the town, I mean, even someone who's not a trained horse trainer can tell this horse is almost completely spent.
Okay.
Seeing that the horse is completely spent, Lady Dumas says, "We're close enough. Let us leave the horses here and proceed by foot."
Okay. And now, does the horse look like it's going to survive?
Um, well, it looks spent. It looks exhausted. I mean, you guys rode the horse through the night, and it's almost the crack of dawn by this time. Instead of taking a whole day to get there,
Yeah.
you guys have made it there in about 6 hours, 7 hours. No, wait, this would be sunset. Sorry, not the crack of dawn. It would be sunset.
Okay.
And your horses, they are apparently exhausted. If there's any reason as to why you would be able to tell uh, the horse's condition, then you would let me know how would you like to do that.
Well,
Well, I would turn to Lady Dumont and defer to her. I'd say, "Oi, Lady Dumont, will they survive?"
not if we ride them further. I'm afraid that they might not last the next day. Let them rest.
All right. Well, then I would remove the tack and harness and the bit and bridle or whatever else there are on horses, and I would give mine a smack on its ass with the blunt end of my scimitar and send it off.
Are you leaving the saddlebags on there with all the supplies?
No, I said I took all that off.
Oh, okay. So
Um,
yeah, it's running. It'll run off free into the wilds.
okay. And then
And
I'll just drape the saddle over my left shoulder and continue on foot.
All right, leaving the saddlebags behind.
No, take. I just assumed they were attached to it. I mean, they're
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm taking the provisions. If the saddle itself is too heavy, then I'll just take the provisions and leave the saddle, attack, and harness
Yeah,
behind.
it's more like it's very large and cumbersome to carry.
Okay, so then I'll just take the supplies and I'll leave the leather work behind.
Okay.
Perhaps cutting any bits off of it that I think I could use. Like the straps and whatnot, keeping those.
Sure, no problem. You can take all the straps and buckles.
Okay, cool.
Lady Dumas would have done a similar motion, only instead of just uh, butt slapping the horse, she would have calmly and surely whispered in his ear, or her, I don't know its sex, uh, "You fought well, brave soldier. Now get some rest." And after taking the supplies and the straps, she'd be going right next to Thyrl into the village.
Okay, so you guys start walking towards the village after you set the horses free, and you see not large, at least not now, but because it is now sundown and just the very beginning of night, you can see that there's a few small fires throughout the city, and the city is just dead quiet. There are no zombies, there are no villagers. There's just nothing going on.
Lady Dumont ponders this a bit because this seems a bit unusual. It's as if someone's living there but isn't at the same time.
Like they're unliving there, maybe.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh, and then turns to Thyrl and says, "I'm not sure what's happening."
and Thurl would look back at Lady Dumont and he would say, uh, he would say, "Well, we'll clear the town building by building, sticking together for safety, of course. Let's
Of
start.
course.
Let's start with the biggest one."
Alright, that sounds like a plan. Let's go. Keep your weapons ready. We don't know who might jump in on us. And she unsteaves her axes.
And
Okay, so
he
go ahead.
too would make ready for battle. And
So, as you guys are walking in, uh, you would have to pass a few of the smaller houses to get to the larger barns. Uh, as you're passing the barns, why don't you gentlemen give me like a perception check, which is based on wisdom and your backgrounds. If you can, let me know how your background would take place.
well, he is. I mean, this is his job, was raiding towns in the past. So, I mean, however much of that you want to give me, it's pretty cut and dry on this one, I think.
Yeah, you would definitely get your full bonus.
Well, I would get my bonus either. Oh, it's strange because you said that they'd have to pass barns, and she, as a squire, has to take care of animals.
No, no, you would pass a few smaller buildings before you get to the large barns.
Ah, buildings.
So, like
Okay.
houses and hovels. So,
Yeah.
what I meant by big was town hall, inn, church, a gathering. Places
Yeah.
where
Well,
people would generally congregate in an emergency. That's
yeah.
what I was thinking by
This
big.
was you pass a few smaller buildings and then you would come across a barn. I was gonna let
Okay.
you make a decision whether or not you could stop there, but first I require a perception check.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I totally forgot
Well,
about that.
as a squire of the Mad Knights, nope. As a lady of a house, nope. I don't see anything. Sorry.
All right, so just use your wisdom modifier, which for your character is 0 for the Woodell for Lady
Uh,
Dumont.
21 for
so
me.
it's 15 in total
Um,
in my case.
And how did I flip my fucking screen?
all right.
Yeah,
Well,
so I have 15 in total.
getting the 15 you actually managed to see, and the 21
Yeah.
uh, you see exactly what it is. As far as what Lady Dumont sees, as you passed a few of the smaller houses and hovels, and in the dark, you notice motion. You can't quite tell what's moving, but Thyrl can see that they're undead, and their arms. You can't quite see what's wrong with their arms, but their arms just don't look right to you.
All right, so Thurl again would throw up the fist and point over and say, "It looks like we got ourselves a catch."
Uh, Lady Dumas would have been nodding. Uh, and then she'd be sort of like backing back to Thyrl.
All right, so I suggest we go ahead and sweep this since we've got movement inside, even though we're at our final destination yet. And he would kind of look over at Lady Dumont and give like the military sign for attack, and then look at her kind of questioningly with a little bit of a shrug to see what she thinks.
Mm, she'd make the sign to um, which first?
Uh, and Thurl would say, Boy, I don't think we want him coming up behind us. We better clear this out.
Yeah, that's why I said which first.
I'm a little confused by what you mean by that.
You saw them around you, the figures, and
Yeah, because
one
we're
of the groups is starting to move towards you.
well.
Okay, so closest.
Yep, closest is good.
All right, so
Okay.
let's roll initiative.
Okay.
Sure.
I believe I only have a +1 on this. That's true. I rolled a 1.
Oh wow. Okay, so you're last.
Yep.
Yeah, 20.
And you rolled a 20? What? Oh, no, okay. Modified 20.
Yeah, it's cool. It happens. So I'm 20 in initiative.
Yeah. Let me see.
Our GM is 18. Actually, not.
Okay, so there's a in his slow response, Thyrl is going to go last, and because he stumbled, a few more are going to act. So there's a small group of 4 that you noticed stirring up and moving towards you, and at first, you know, they look almost like the shamblers. They start off very slow, and from their slow motion, they start to speed up and go in almost a run, and 4 run out of the shadows towards you. And it's kind of hard to tell because it is so dark, but they're holding their arms at their sides, and very deliberately holding their arms at their sides. And Lady Dumat, what would you like to do? They are all nearby, by the way.
So I can start attacking?
Yeah, you can move in and engage with either the group of 4 that's running after you, or there's 2 more that they seem to you guys have seemed to have grabbed the attention of.
Well, I'll start with the 4.
Okay.
Uh, Let me roll for my elven little thing.
Right now, in the escalation dice is at 0.
Sure. Hold on. We're going to fight multiple groups, right?
It's 2 groups. Yes.
I'll do an invocation of war, so it's at 1.
Okay, so escalation is at 1.
Let's do this. Shit. Alright. Never mind. So, just my simple action.
Your standard. You have your standard action.
Yeah, I don't have 2, I have only 1. That's
Yeah,
what
you
I
only. Yes.
And let me describe what she's doing. She is bull rushing, swinging her axe. Axe
All right.
is 2. So I'll roll the die. Neat. I get a modified by 6, so it's 17.
So you're running after them, and you start swinging your axes at the group
Yeah.
of 4 as you close in on them. And
Mm-hmm.
as you're swinging, it looks like you're about to connect solidly with one, and it literally steps to the side, dodging your blow. And as it does that, as it steps to the side, and your axe just ever so barely skims the side of its face and slices just the thinnest piece of flesh from its face, it raises up its arms that it was hiding by its side, and you notice that the hands are actually cut off. The flesh is removed halfway up. By the elbow starts a wrapping of cloth holding the two bones of the forearm together, and then you notice the two bones of the forearm are actually sharpened down to very thin, fine bladed points. And then it brings its four-armed blades down to bear on you, as does the other three.
Okay, that's...
So that's a 17, a critical miss, and a 16.
So yay, everyone missed.
Mm-hmm.
God, I love my rating of 20.
Yeah, so the one that actually rolled, the one was the one that you narrowly missed, and just should have shaved the flesh from it.
Yeah?
And if you would like, you could actually describe how it missed you because it rolled a 1.
Alright, so... You could see her just going through them, but apparently they were smart enough to just move out of the way for some odd reason. But when he turned to actually confront her, she was still swinging her blades, because she hasn't stopped. She is still swinging them. And unfortunately, while trying to actually attack her, one of the blades grazed a bit of the flesh, ever so slightly.
Okay, so
As she turns around, now her and Thyrl flanking them.
okay, and what happened was that it was because your blades graced it once more. It stumbled into the fourth one, and the fourth one didn't get to even attack, and that's partially because of the one, and partially because I forgot to roll the fourth attack. So Nick, you're now flanking that group of 4. Now, the other two that were disturbed in the shadow by Thyrl just being slightly clumsy in rolling that 1 for initiative, they get stirred up, and then you see them in the same fashion start off slowly walking and then quickly stepping into a run, holding their arms by their sides. But seeing the ones that attacked Lady Dumont, you already saw that there was a sort of processing in their forms, and you know what's about to happen.
So, I got interrupted when you gave the initial description of their arm thing. So, can you just catch me up on that real quick? Was it like a bone graft?
It wasn't a bone graft. What it was that from the elbow area down about halfway through the arm,
Okay.
there's strapping, leather strapping,
Okay.
with mixed with some cloth, and it's holding the two bones of the forearm together, and the hands have been removed, and the
Okay.
bones of the forearms are actually sharpened down to blades.
Okay. So they've got like scythe blade lower arms.
Yeah, and if you would like to describe the critical miss.
So somebody came after me too?
Yeah, the additional 2 of the second group decided to charge after you. They both missed, but one was a critical miss.
Okay, so as the thing came and tried to take I'm assuming it's like a slashing motion.
Yes, sir.
So he would try to take the slashing motion, and I would parry it with my right hand scimitar and do another one of those kind of Sparta kicks, staggering the zombie backwards a couple feet maybe.
All right, so it fell backwards, It actually, what happened was that you kicked it and it fell on its back, but in the momentum, it continued and rolled and stood up about 5 feet away
Nice.
from you.
Nice.
And
Cool.
as it stood up, it looks straight into your eyes, opens its mouth, and you hear, and it is now Thyrl's go.
So as this thing kind of
You
it
still have the one
hisses.
right in front of your face as well.
Yeah, yeah. And as this other one kind of hisses at me, Thurl, he kind of turns his nose up at the just noxious breath just emanating towards him from this disgusting undead beast, and his eyes water a little bit from the stench of it, and then he's going to roll his attack roll. So I need dice stream, and I'm going to roll my regular attack now. And that's
Definitely a hit.
And I'll clear that away. Okay, so how close am I to? There's two different groups, right?
There's two different groups. Currently, you're flanking them. You're nearby the first group. It's maybe 15, 20 feet away from your current position, with Lady Dumat on the other side of them.
How did we
And
get separated like that?
she went after the first group.
She charged.
Okay.
Through them.
Okay, so the first attack's going to go on the two that I'm up against right now. So I'll roll my 2d8 plus 3 for that for damage. So that's 8 damage plus 3, so 11 damage total.
Would you like to describe how you killed the one that was facing you?
Yeah, absolutely. So he does the parry, then he kicks and staggers the one deck. Then he does the little smell thing, and he's just going for the neck again. He just simply does one clean maneuver with his. Let me see. So he parried with his left. So he parried, kicked, and then with the right just came up and just took the head right off the one that was facing him. Then he's going to. How many? So there's 4 on Lady Dumat, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he's going to ignore the one that. So have I pushed him far enough back that I can disengage without an opportunity attack, or what?
Yeah, he's far enough back. He can't swing at you.
Okay, so I'm going to turn away from him and go to back Lady Dumat up, and he'll charge forward, and while he's charging, the glands underneath his chin are filling again, and as he gets out, as he gets close, you hear him yell out to Lady Dumat, Lady Dumat, duck, and then he's going to spit into the crowd of 4. And was I able to close the distance to get into melee range with this?
Yeah, they were already nearby, so you are closed and engaged with that group.
Okay, so this is against the physical defense, and I get a +4. Do I get the +1 for the escalation die too on this attack?
Yes, on all your attacks.
Okay, so this is a +5 on this roll then, and I got an 11.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
Okay, so I believe this one's just 2d6. Let me just check my character sheet real quick. 2d6, yeah. So again, another stream of this acid just comes out and does 8.
It does 8 points of damage.
Don't forget
Add 1. Does the escalation die go on damage too?
Escalation dice does not go on damage unless you have an
but I have a little thing called the Divine Domain. If I hit or miss, allies gain 1 attack bonus against.
No, he already hit. That's an attack bonus, so he gets a bonus to his attack roll, not to his damage roll. He is currently rolling for damage.
Okay.
Whoops.
I thought it was damage. Never mind.
No, it's fine. It's very good you're keeping an eye out from at your character sheet, because I have to remind Thyrl that there's something he forgot in a second.
Oh
So
yeah.
let's resolve. You managed to do enough damage to just barely melt away one of the four. It was the one that Lady Dumat had shaved a piece of its face off.
Okay, cool. And then what did I miss?
Well, you can just go into your awesome description of your face melting power.
I'm looking at my now. I'm looking at my fucking character
All right.
sheet. No,
Face-
it's a,
It's a maneuver. It's a maneuver called defensive fighting,
uh-huh.
and on a melee attack, the trigger is a natural roll of 16 plus or 16 or higher. You rolled an 18 to hit.
Okay.
So
So I should get +2 bonus to my AC until my next turn.
yes, this is just a learning game for both of us.
So you'll allow it, or?
Yeah,
Three of
yeah, most
us.
definitely.
Okay, cool.
I think
I'll try to pay more attention. I just focus on the game, man, and I try not.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just that you're actually more harder to hurt now than you were before.
21 AC currently then for this for until my next turn.
Until the end of your
Okay. So as you nimbly duck out of the way, you just see this. And this time I make it like a quick glob. It's like a loogie instead of a stream, as to be less likely to hit you with any of it. And you just see this glob of this kind of like pulsating green just sludge wash over this thing's face, and the flesh just sort of falls apart, and the goo drops down onto the chest, and you see as rib cage is exposed, and then as it burns through the rib cage, is the rotting guts of this thing are exposed and eventually ripped through. And then at your feet is just a little bit of the upper skull left, and then the lower torso and body of this thing. The whole like chest cavity area just and lower face just melted away completely. Okay.
Sufficiently gruesome, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the escalation die now goes up to 2
Okay.
as the fight ramps up, and your adrenaline starts pumping. You can almost feel your heartbeat in your ears.
I use my smite ability because I can do it. This is the second time, so.
No, this is the first time after your full rest.
Okay. So I'm using my smite ability. I'm declaring. And with this, she's like, yes! And with a cheerful glee on her face, she starts chopping the two zombies that are nearest to her.
Most definitely.
And I'll have to roll D20.
1d20.
Okay, and that's an 8 plus 2 for escalation and 6, so it's 16.
Yeah, you actually managed to hit.
I
The adrenaline in your body is just focusing your concentration on combat even further.
So it's 2d8s right now, plus
it's 2d8 plus the 1d12 plus 4.
12, and let's see. So it's 16 plus
26 points of damage.
Yeah, 26 points of damage.
Would you like to describe how you leave this one group of 4 down to a group of 1 as you kill 2 of them in one swing?
And as I said, you can see almost the smile, and she says, yes! with a chilling voice, almost, as she starts almost ballet pirouetting with her cat-like grace. She It's almost as if she's dancing a maddening dance of blood and guts all over her as she rips two enemies to shreds with her two axes in her hands. You can see her almost singing a bit. If you wouldn't know her well, you can almost see that she's a bit too happy about what she's doing. And now we have only one enemy left. It's I'm not sure how far away he is, and one that's even farther still.
Yeah, one is nearby, and the last of the group is engaged with you guys right now. The last of the group.
Sorry about that, dude. Oh.
The last of the group of 4 that you were just fighting is you know, the heads of its allies with their eyes glowing with divine power as they're being burned away from the inside out, spinning swiftly and crashing down onto the floor. It spins around and almost in a mocking way tries to do the ballet dance you just did and swings at you, Lady Dumont. And they get a total of 21, which is a hit. So the spinning motion, it hits you several times on your armor, each hit digging a little bit deeper, and does a total of 6 points of damage to you. The one that was kicked by Thyrl, as I said, it rolled back, and it just rolled continually until it just rolled onto its feet and stood up in a single motion. The momentum of the roll almost making it skid backwards a few more inches. It gathers itself after it did its zombie scream, and it's continuing the scream, charging at Thyrl, just running again with its blades at its side, picking up pace. Then it jumps into the air and yells out. It brings its blades down to bear on Thyrl, getting a total of 24.
That's certainly a hit.
And as it brings its blades down to bear, just on either side of you, on either side of your freshly evacuated acid sacs of your neck, just barely, almost grazing the jugular veins, it slashes down on your back, and you could feel the blades of these forearms digging into your back, and you too take 6 points of damage.
Okay.
And as you take the damage and feel the biting pain of these forearm blades, it is now your go, Thyrl.
Okay. All right. So I should have looked okay. Okay, so I'm going to use my power attack here to try to finish these two off. So I'll roll it. And what's the escalation die at? 2?
Yeah, it's currently at 2. Power attack, you can declare after a hit. It says, if the attack hits, trigger, you are... Oh, no, you are about to make... That's entirely my fault. You read it correctly. Beautiful. Cool. Roll your power attack. Hopefully you'll hit, because you don't want to waste that.
It says once per encounter, so...
Yeah.
So this is, I'm assuming, the end of this fight here.
Soon to be.
Okay. All right. Well, he doesn't see any other enemies, so he would think that this is the time to do it. So, um, so he's gonna try. And I roll an 8, and that's plus 7, so a 15.
A 15 is actually not high enough. The one that brought its blades down to bear on your back, as you spun around to attack it, the blades were actually still partially lodged in your armor, and you spun the zombie around with you. And as you brought your blades down to bear, there was nothing but air in your swing.
Okay.
And now the two zombies are back to back.
Oh, you're just making it easy.
The escalation die is now 3.
Neat.
And Lady Dumont, it is your go.
Seeing that it's now just target practice, she smiles again and almost like does a small jump and with a single motion lunges and tries to cut the two zombies in half.
Okay, roll it. Oh, remember the D6 for your elven.
Yes, sir. I'm rolling, and it's
Still too high.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's try 8 plus 3 plus 6.
Plus 6. So it's actually 11 plus 6.
Yeah, 17.
So 17. 17 is actually not high enough. When you come down with your axes, they were fighting. The two zombies remaining were fighting back to back, and as you're bringing your axes down to bear, they rotate around, and then split, one to the left and one to the right of you. And then your attack luckily catches nothing but air, as the only object in front of you is Thyrl.
Ah! Okay.
It is now the zombies' go.
Hey, can I ask another question? Another, like, bad timed question?
Sure, go ahead.
Can I use my 2-weapon pressure on my next attack because I missed last round, or?
Your 2-weapon. How does that work again?
It says trigger is a miss.
Yes.
And I gain +2 on my next attack roll.
So you definitely will gain +2 because you missed.
Okay.
Was it an even? What is it? An even miss or an odd miss?
It was 15.
It was 15. So no, that's an odd miss. If it was like a 16 or a 14, where you have heavy blows.
What's natural even miss mean?
A natural even miss is if you miss and you would roll a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and so on and so forth. An even number on the d20.
And it's the number itself because I rolled an 8.
Oh, then yes, it's a natural even miss. So you get both your 2-weapon pressure and heavy blows ability.
Don't forget to add one attack bonus to hit, not to damage, to your.
Oh yes, because of
it would have
Lady
been
Dumont's.
Yeah.
16 is still a miss though.
Yeah, I remember because she just missed on a. Okay, so for you, just so you know, then if you're going to use heavy blows, then he would have taken an escalation die worth of damage in miss damage, in addition to the 2. So he would have taken 5 miss damage when I flipped around and didn't hit anything. So.
Right.
I don't know if they hit each other, or we don't even have to worry about that, but I don't care.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll just say that there was something about your blow that,
I didn't know. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, as you brought your blow down, as you missed, you contacted nothing but air, but you almost snapped one of the blades, and that's how it took its damage.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Each arm has 4 blades because of 2 bones in each arm. So you snapped one. So one of them is stuck in your armor behind you. and one of the zombies only has a total of 3 blades. And when Lady Dumont just missed, as they spun around back to back and cleared around, they nipped each other a little bit with their own blades.
Okay.
The one on the left nipping at the right, and the one on the right slightly cutting the one on the left.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I thought that what it meant when natural even miss was that I had to roll the exact number of a miss. That's what I thought it meant. I didn't realize that it meant.
It's any even number that you roll on the d20,
50,
but
50,
still manage to
that's
miss.
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, cool. So now I understand that a little better. All right, cool.
So back to the zombies as they departed from each other, and like we just described, they almost pushed against each other, but not having hands anymore, they cut into their allies slightly. And as they pushed away, and Lady Dumont now occupies the space that they once did, they charge at Lady Dumont, swinging from either side of her. So a 17 and a 26.
Yeah, the one that has 26 actually connected.
So we'll say the one that has 26. As you dodge very gracefully from one attack, almost leaning, folding yourself in half while maintaining your feet in your graceful motion, the second one brings all of his 4 blades down to bear, straight on your chest, and you roll with the blow as it is being brought down and you're spinning. You maintain your balance and you maintain your graceful posture, but now you are bleeding and take another 6 points of damage. And with that, it is Thyrl's go.
Okay. And what's the escalation die at right now?
It is currently at 3. After your go, it will be elevated to 4.
So this is going to be +9 with that +1 from Lady Dumont and the +3 from that, and in my +5. So I'll roll the 120-sided die. Oh, it's a 19.
Yeah, you definitely connect.
All right. So what is the current position of the 2 zombies? Is there still one clinging to my back?
No, the one that was clinging to your back, it got thrown away, but you still have one of its blades lodged in the back of your armor.
Okay.
You now, when you spun around to attack, there's Lady Dumont in front of you. She was spinning gracefully to avoid the attacks. One of them, it just looked like she just so easily and elegantly dodged under it. Her body seeming almost to fold in half, somehow maintaining an amazing amount of dexterity and grace, especially in this plate mail. But as she was doing so, the second one brought all 4 of its blades down to bear straight on her chest. She did manage to spin with the blow and recover without missing a beat in her elegant ballet of a dance, but she is now bleeding at the chest, and you have 1 zombie on either side of her.
Okay, cool. So that was a 19. Let me roll damage, and then I'll do description. 2d8 plus... Oh, so that was a plus... how does this work? So I got heavy blows. Okay, so that was last. Natural even hit. No, I don't get that. Anything else I get? No, I think that's it. Okay. All right, so it's just going to be the 2d8.
Yeah, it's just straight up damage right now.
2d8 plus 3. Cannot roll it? Ooh. An 8 and a 5 plus 3, so...
What is that, 13, 16?
16. Yeah, so
Yeah,
16.
So describe how you managed to drop the last 2 remaining zombies.
Okay, so seeing this... seeing her, Lady Dumont, get attacked and spinning around, angry and snarling from being tricked by the zombie when it held on to me as I spun around to face it. He snarls viciously, and he throws down the scimitar in his left hand and reaches back and grabs the bone knife that's embedded in his back, and he rips it out, and with two long strides he thrusts the kind of like how a gladius would be stabbed straight into the head of the first one, and then breaks the bone blade off. And while he's doing that, he brings his scimitar down on the collarbone of the second and just drives it a solid foot down the chest of the zombie. And as he does so, the zombie's right shoulder just sags downwards, and he collapses on himself. And as he does so, Thyrl brings a foot up and kicks him off of his sword.
Nice, nice. So you guys have once again survived yet another encounter.
And the second the fighting is over, Thyrl looks to Lady Dumont and says, "Oi, you all right?"
Get the bandages.
And immediately, the second she said it, he would be digging through his things and tending to her wounds, while also keeping a watchful eye around this encampment or this town.
While rifling through the saddlebags on the floor, keeping your watchful eye out, you see more motion in the shadows. A lot more motion, in fact. Most of it coming from towards the entrance of the town, a few buildings down.
And can I see what kind of motion it is? Can I see what I'm looking at?
Are you going to use your action to spot? Yeah, go ahead, spot. Add your commando with your wisdom.
Yeah. Okay. I rolled an 8, so 5 plus 2 plus 7, so 15.
15. Lady Dumont, would you also like to see if you can spot this?
Yeah. Would I don't know if she would. It's a D20, right?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Nope.
Okay. Okay.
It's just a 14 in total.
Yeah. So you're able to see. What you're able to see is that a little bit closer, there seems to be a couple of more groups, and they look very similar to the zombies that you just killed. But there's about 3 groups of them, and they're groups. There's a few of them. There's like 3 or 4 in one group, 4 or 5 in another, and then maybe 6 or 7 in the third group. Towards the entrance of town, though, what only Thyrl is noticing is that there seems to be an almost amorphous mass of undead flesh, sort of rising and falling towards the entrance of the city, moving towards the city.
How big?
It's a little bit difficult to tell in the darkness and the distance of the night, but
Okay.
it looks. I mean, the distance may or may not be deceiving, but it looks like it's fairly large whenever it rises.
Lady Dumas, after being taking care of the bleeding, she'd be.
You want to stop and bandage your wounds now?
No. That's gonna stop as soon as.
Yeah.
As soon as he sees what's happening, he's gonna.
She'd see something, not as much as Thyrl, but she'd still see something from your description, and she'd say, "Let's take care of this inside of the buildings. We need to get out of line of sight of these things and
Okay.
regroup."
Okay, so now did you say there was a barn nearby? That's where we kind of stopped,
Yeah.
right? Is that a barn?
Yeah, there's a barn
Um,
nearby. You can easily walk into the barn if you'd like.
okay,
Yeah.
so Thyrl remembers his time with the Horned Reavers, and one of the tactics they would sometimes employ would be to go into a building and create a clamor and draw in the townsfolk to them, and then they would set the building afire, and they would usually have a detachment of people outside that as soon as the trap was sprung would bar the barn or church or house or villa or whatever structure they were using at the time. So he would look to Lady Dumont and he would say, "Oi, Lady Dumont, let's use the barn. Let's lure them in, set it ablaze, and escape through the second floor. It'll be a bit of a jump. We may take a bit of a tumble, but this doesn't look like a number we can handle on our own."
Alright, you set up the explosives, I'll tend to my wounds, but we need to get to the barn fast.
Okay. So just for your benefit, Nelson, what I intend to do is I intend to get into that barn, maybe throw a few hay bales out into the middle of it all, and then get up to the loft, which I'm assuming there would be a window. I mean, not glass, but some sort of window in the loft, some sort of opening.
Yeah, it's safe to assume that.
Okay, so that'll be his assumption. So now he's going to go ahead and try to enact that plan, abandoning his initial urge to give her some first aid because obviously we're not out of the fray yet.
So are you going to grab the saddlebags or just run straight for the barn?
I need to have something that can start a fire. If my acid can't, then I would grab a flint and tinder from the provisions and leave the rest where they stood. Yeah.
So you're going to take like a minute or two to trifle through the bags to get your to find what you're looking for, right?
I'm not going to take that long. No. If I can't, if I don't have it on me, if I don't have any way to start a fire on me, and my acid couldn't do it, I guess I would I would just go to the barn and hope that I could improvise something then. I would definitely not sit around and waiting for minutes while in this combat situation.
Well, it'll to search through those saddlebags, getting tussled and tossed around and dropped on the floor.
Yeah, I understand.
It's not going to maintain any sense of proper organization. So
Yeah.
it would take it naturally would take a minute to find what you're looking for.
I'd be straight up, keeping one arm on the wound and to stop the bleeding, and taking, if not both of the saddlebags that my horse was carrying, at least the one that I know that carries the med kit.
Okay, that's fine. You grab that saddlebag. The saddlebags are the two saddlebags are actually connected.
So
If
basically,
if I had no way to enact my plan right then and there, I'd take them with me.
Okay, so the both of you run into the barn with the saddlebags.
Yeah, and I'm as I go into the barn, I'm looking for an oil lantern and anything that's flammable. I mean, I assume there's going to be plenty of dry hay about, which is plenty flammable. But I'm also looking for, anything.
Well,
I'm moving up to position so that I'm near the exit upstairs and tending to my wounds as fast as I can.
okay, as you guys rush into the barn and you're rifling through the pack to get the medical supplies that you need. You can see that up on the loft area of the barn, that there's several hay bales stacked up fairly high, and the ladder, there's blood in the barn on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
and um, on top of the loft area, you can see the faint glow of a lantern's light, and you're
Oh,
hearing a few things up there as well.
okay.
Uh,
So I would go up first. Blades drawn, ready for anything.
How
I
are you climbing the ladder if both your blades are drawn?
Just one. I'll go up one armed with one blade. I'll
Okay.
drop my two blade thing for the first round if I get into combat up there.
I'd be near the ladder and rifling through the saddlebags, trying to tend to my wounds as best as I can.
You know what? Fuck that. So I'm going up with one scimitar drawn, but I'm holding it in my mouth so that I can climb with the speed of both hands.
Okay, sure, no problem. As
Hmm.
as Lady Dumont is looking through the saddlebags, and as she just finds the med kit, the moment that happens, you notice that there's a figure um, at the top of the loft. You can see that in the area by the lantern, there is just a mass of guts and blood and intestines and entrails, several different body parts, and even bovine and other farm animal parts. And the figure you can see from the back is wearing coveralls. He's hunched over a table, and one side of the coveralls is unbuckled and just laying free. There's no shirt underneath, and there seems to be an arm, a secondary arm coming out from between the shoulder and the neck, and it's clear to you that that arm was stitched in place. And the sound and commotion that you hear now that you're closer sounds like the sound of sawing mixed with a little giggle and a whistle and a song as the figure is like and shh, 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 doom, 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 as he's cutting and chopping away and whistling softly.
And he has an extra arm growing out of him.
He has an extra arm stitched in place.
To what part of his body?
It's slightly coming out of the back.
Okay. And
And
is it reaching over and helping him do things, or is it just sitting there flopping about?
it's moving to and fro almost rhythmically. And it doesn't look like it's just a normal human arm. It looks elongated, like there were several longer bones and different types of flesh and muscle that went into the construction of this arm. But it is most apparently dead, while the figure appears alive, like there's life to the color of its flesh.
Okay. So as Thurl reaches the top of the ladder, and this figure is in the loft, correct? Like in the back of the
Yes.
loft, is that what you said?
Yes.
And as he reaches the top and he hears the sawing sound, it triggers a flashback in him, and he remembers that after he fled the Horned Reavers, after killing his commander, when his commander tried to order him to murder a whole family of children, and their mother, and he instead had run his commander through, and he remembers that as in his disgrace, he had sawed his own horns off, in an offering to the great gold worm, and he remembers what the great gold worm said to him when he asked for his forgiveness. He remembers the great gold worm telling him that he did not have the power to forgive, that Thyrl would only find forgiveness when he was able to die, and to die in battle, and to die valiantly, upholding truth and justice and honor. And as this image sort of fades away, and as the glossy gleam of the over Thyrl's eyes sort of fades, and he comes back to cognitive thought and lucidity, he looks to Lady Dumont and he says, "Oi, this may very well be our target." And he's going to just fling himself towards this obvious abomination in a rage, and scream out, "For the glory of the golden wyrm, I vanquish you!" And he's going to attack.
Lady Dumas would have still tried to stitch herself up and hopefully patch herself long enough. Can I say that this would be a rally roll to recover?
Well,
I would also like to use a rally roll.
I'll let this be not a rally, but because since you're using your medical kit, this could just be the use of a recovery.
Yeah.
Not a rally, just a normal recovery roll.
So
Now,
I can.
Could I rally off of that bit I just did, or?
Yeah, that was very inspiring for yourself. So yes, you can rally.
Okay, cool.
So it's 17. Okay,
Nice.
back to full health again. Seriously. Because it's like, yeah, 55. So yeah, full health. Neat. So I have consumed 1 recovery.
2d10 plus 4.
And this time, after knowing that I've recovered myself and patched myself back, I would take my unsheathe my 2 battle axes, put 1 in my mouth and 1 in hand, and slowly work up the ladder. So.
All right. Thyrl does manage. If he's trying to attack, he would manage to get a surprise round before any initiative is rolled.
Thyrl does not talk to abominations. Thyrl kills abominations. So I hope you weren't planning on us talking to him, because I'm just going in. God, I really hope you weren't planning on us talking to him. So I'm at full health. My roll is 2d10 plus 4, and I was only down by 6. So.
Oh wow! All right.
Okay. So I'm at 48, and yeah. So he'll come after this thing. And please, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Oh no! I rolled a 5.
Don't worry. I was only letting you roll to see if you got a crit.
Okay.
Because he's unprepared, I'll allow the hit to be automatic.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, so 2d8 plus 3. So that's 10. 10 damage.
Okay.
And did my abilities? Is this a new encounter, or is this not a new encounter?
This is a brand new encounter.
Okay. So I'm gonna hold on to my spit just in case there's some reinforcements that I need to use it on. Damn, I should have used my fucking power attack. God damn it. All right, next time. All right, cool. So yeah, that's 10. So he would be charging up, and he would he always goes for the killing shot. So he would be coming after the neck of this thing with a scimitar. So if you want to let me know what that looks like, because obviously I can't just one-shot this thing.
As you go for the area of the neck of the scimitar, your 2 scimitars, you do manage to swipe at it, but when your scimitar is digging into the neck of this creature. The third appendage, the over elongated arm that looks like it was an artificial composite of God knows what types of muscles and flesh and bone. It actually extends around the front of this creature, and it looks like it flicks a blade outward, another bone blade, and the bone blade wraps around it and just smacks your scimitar out of its neck to prevent its head from cutting off.
Nice.
Never at one moment did the creature stop whistling. It was just going.
Oh man.
Now let's roll initiative.
Okay.
Yeah.
I rolled a 15 on initiative. Oh no! Lady Dumat is very busy doing her bandages.
Actually, she's very busy climbing the stairs because she's taking her sweet time just getting there. So I would be on initiative 4. Okay.
And what was it that you got, Thyrl?
I am at 15. So he's going to get to go first, for sure.
Yeah. So, as the large undead appendage whacks away your scimitar, basically bringing it out of its neck, he turns to face you, and again he's whistling through his teeth. And then, as you see its face, again it looks very alive, but the person is missing its lips. The lips were cut away, and all you see is its teeth, almost in a perpetual smile, looking at you. The flesh is just dark and almost purple, being exposed to air for quite a long time. And when he turns to face you, you see one of his eyes on the left side of his face, the same side that has the undead appendage, it's a different color than his right eye, and the flesh surrounding the eye is dead and desiccated. It's stitched onto his face. And then you hear him chuckle as he stops laughing. He's like,
Fucking farmer boss.
and he attacks you.
Okay.
And the first attack is a 20. So that first attack hits. And then after the first attack, as the undead appendage digs into your side, very close to your neck, he pulls it out, but he pulls it out in a sawing manner, and then that's when you can tell that the bone blade on this specific creature is serrated, and that's a total of 25. So that hits, and after the 25, he picks up a foot and tries to kick you away from himself. And that one's only a 17. So the kick lands squarely on your chest, but being the stout, draconic knight that you are, you don't seem to budge, and it doesn't seem to hurt. And it's almost inconsequential, especially once you took those 2 vicious blows from that undead appendage. You suffer 20 points of damage. And again, as he's thrown slightly off balance and thrown into the table a bit, because his kick pushed him back more than it would ever have pushed you, his laugh breaks, and the kick lands like this. and it is now Thyrl's go. No, yeah, Thyrl's go. And we're gonna start. You're muted. If you're talking, you're muted. And we're
Yeah.
starting with the escalation die on this round at 1 for the first sort of surprise round.
Okay. All right. So Thurl, Thurl gets staggered back a little bit just under the crushing just ferocity of these two slashes that just rip through his plate mail like it's nothing, and he's sitting there with like this just kind of rough hewn edge on this rip and off his right pauldron, and he staggers back, and he takes 2 steps back, and he lowers his head a little bit in apprehension, and he focuses in completely on this beast in front of him, and he realizing the danger that he's in now, he's going to toss away one of his scimitars and pull up his shield. Now, what is that exactly? Is that a free action or
You can do it for free. Don't even worry about it.
I can do it for free. Awesome. So that'll bring me to 20, but I'm losing my two-handed ability, my two-weapon ability. Okay, and seeing this, he realizes in his mind, seeing how he almost was cleaved in half just in that first round, that this may be the moment of his glorious forgiveness, and with that energy, it just sort of reasserting itself and redetermining him and reinvigorating him. He's going to rally as a quick action with his ability, if that's okay with you.
Well, I guess the first rally was before actual combat, so yeah, we'll do it.
Is that all right? Is it normally only 1 per combat, or?
It's normally only 1 rally per combat, but we'll allow this one.
Okay, so that'll be his quick action, and I'll roll 2d10 on this one, plus I believe it's 2 or 3 or 4 or something. So I'll check that before I add it.
The rally is 2d10 plus 4.
Yep. Okay. So that's 19 hit points back. So he's going to go back up to.
How is it 19?
I'm sorry, it was not 19. That was me adding 10 instead of 4. It's 11. No, wait, no, sorry, 13.
Yeah,
13. My bad. I don't know why I added 10, but I did. I think it's because I was rolling 10
it's what I discussed about before: right brain versus left brain. Don't worry about it.
So that is a 9 plus 4, so 13. So from 28 to 41. Yes, 41. And as he's making this realization that this might be it, he rallies. He lets out a prayer, and he says aloud, "Oh, great gold worm, if this is to be the day of my death and absolution, please give me the strength to slay my foe along with me." And he's going to try to invoke his relationship of 2 with the great gold worm here.
Yes, you can feel the power and the presence and the glory of the great gold worm invigorating you. Not only as you healed your wounds and shrugged them off, the pain of those wounds is nothing more than an afterthought at this point. And you will get an additional 2d6 to your to hit roll.
2d6 to my to hit roll?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to muster all of my strength into one excessively powerful attack, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just blow everything right here. So it's going to be a 20 plus 2d6 plus 6 to hit, because of the escalation die is at 1, right? And I get the plus 5 already.
Yeah, exactly.
So 20 plus 2d6 plus 6. Oh god. So 12, 13, 14, 20. 20 is all I got.
20 is perfectly fine. You managed to connect solidly.
Ah, awesome. So this time I'm targeting the hand, the arm, and he just comes forward, brings his shield up to knock away one of the regular arms of this beast, and just his scimitar just strikes truly in and towards this farmer with intent on attempting to either damage or sever the arm, though I'm completely fine with you as the DM making it hit something else. So I'll do damage now. 2d8 plus my power attack.
Yeah, 2d8 plus 2d8 plus 2d8 plus 2d6 plus 3.
Okay. And I've cleared my roll away. Okay. So 20.
Ooh.
20 damage.
So you deal 20 damage to him?
Yes.
10, so that's 30. So as he was laughing, he's like, and you're trying to attack. He quickly sees that you're going for his favored appendage, and you knocked away his right arm, and then he brings his left arm up to intercept your sword, and you cleanly sever his right arm first at the forearm, and he continues to move it in its way, and you sever again at the bicep, and then into the side by the shoulder, stopping by the shoulder blade, damn near cutting
Nice.
the other one completely off, and you make him stop laughing for a second, and as you pull your blade out of the wound, uh, it he almost reacts like it's a tickle as the blade is sliding out. The creature's like,
Oh, Jesus.
and it is Lady Dumat's go.
It's epic
All
turn.
right.
So your Lady Dumont is has just now reached the loft, the top of the loft.
Okay, and she's heading straight towards this. Let me just have a clear mental image. Do I have enough space to attack the
Yeah,
creature without?
The loft is not tiny by any means.
Oh, okay. So it's not like I risk of hitting him, my co-worker, just because I'm trying to hit the abomination.
Oh no,
Okay.
there's no risk. It's fairly large, and the abomination is pressed up against he's pressed up against the table where he was eviscerating body parts.
Okay. Okay. Now this is going to be a bit stupid or a bit interesting, depending on how you're viewing it. But let me narrate what will happen. She is a member of the Mad Knights. So, even though she is a lady of House Leon, she has been chosen by the Mad Knights. So, you would definitely have an inkling as to she's not all there in the head. Now, through lands unwaking, through shivers upon skies, through darkness and light, I smack thee with a righteous fury that will shatter earth and split sky. I will deliver justice and rule of the mighty. I, who is upon and below both the wind, the sky, and the sea, the earth that surrounds me. I will destroy you, for this is not the day we'll die. This is the day we will enact a scorched earth campaign, and this shall be your resting place.
And as you say scorched earth, you see Thyrl kind of does a double take, like, huh, I didn't sign up for that.
Mad Knight, sorry. So I'm doing an invocation of war since this is another battle. So I'm raising from 1 to 2. And of course I had to get a 6 on that. Okay, I'm rolling my smite as well. I'm declaring this for this battle, so I'm up to my second one. Oh, Jesus Christ. And it's a 20. Okay.
All right.
So, yeah. It's a... oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. 20 plus 6. It should hit. DM.
Nelson, you're muted.
So it hits, and I'm rolling 2d8.
Wait, hold on. I forgot I was on mute. I was trying to talk to you, and I forgot the mute button.
Yeah.
What I was asking was that would you like to... I'll give you the option of maximizing your total damage or doubling the damage you roll on those dice.
Double.
You'll double? Alright, so go ahead. Roll the dice, and whatever you roll is doubled.
Yeah. So 2d8, 1d12, and I add
It's a plus...
I add 4 afterwards, and then I'll double it. So 6, 8 plus 4. Okay, so it's 8 plus 4, 12. So 12 times 2 equals 24. I rolled 24 damage.
Nice.
24? Okay.
Still good.
As you hit this creature, right, its maddening laugh, as it looked like it was being tickled from from Thyrl's scimitar being drawn out, it was laughing, going, and then you're just chanting your prayer, and it looks at you with its two different eyes, and it just opens its mouth wide, and you can see as it sticks out its tongue, it's beginning to laugh again, and its human tongue has apparently an undead bovine tongue grafted on it, and it's licking around at its face, lapping up just everywhere, and it's starting to laugh at you. And you strike it when you say your prayer, and you're invoking the power of the Mad Knights and your smite, and all this holy energy that you're bringing strikes it, and you can see that the wound that it had begins to glow, right? And then every other previous wound begins to glow, and the area, the right arm that was almost completely severed, bursts, and the arm flies off of it, and then that begins to glow, and the glow becomes brighter and brighter and brighter until it's so bright it's almost blinding, and then boom, in an instant, it turns into flame. The creature is now on fire.
Oh, goodness.
That's our cue to get the fuck out of here. So,
and as it bursts into fire, it's like, and the escalation dice goes up to 3, and it's the creature's go.
oh, it's still there. Okay.
Oh
Never
yeah,
mind.
it's still there, but it's on fire.
Okay, I thought it. Oh, never mind.
So
Its turn. Go ahead.
it's its turn. So being that it's on fire, the first thing it's gonna do is take the ongoing fire damage of 5. So it starts to burn away. Its flesh is just, you can tell the dead flesh that was on fire is it's reeking of just dead burnt flesh, but at the same time you can hear the crackling of the living flesh sort of just burning away, and it just smells horrid. It is the worst thing, the worst combination of stenches that you could bring yourself to ever imagine. And it's standing there on fire laughing, and it turns at you, Lady Dumont, and it brings its large undead appendage up. The appendage itself is not on fire, as it has yet to receive any direct damage, and he clambers down and just brings this large serrated blade down to bear on you. And he completely misses. And as your just elegance sort of steps slightly to the side, this large blade comes in between both you and Thyrl and goes straight to the wooden floor that is the decking of this loft, and it struggles for a moment as it saws the wood and brings the blade back and snatches it back, and it's like and it is now Thyrl's go.
Okay. So. Oh Jesus! I'm thinking. Give me a second to think here.
Well, I'm gonna let you think, and I'm gonna run to the rest really quick, like 30 seconds.
Okay. Cool. Yes. Good stuff.
Okay, it was 45 seconds, but I'm back.
I forgive you.
Welcome back.
My pleasure. Have you decided what approach you would like to take, Thyrl?
Yeah, tell me a little bit about the construction of this barn. The platform we're on, I'm assuming it's just just boards, just like a thin layer of boards supported by beams below it or something.
Yeah, it's just a run-of-the-mill construction of a barn. It's nothing elaborate. There's a few pillars of large squared-up wood. A few bracing beams, a few cross beams going straight up to the top. This loft is it only comes about halfway out through the barn. By the loft at the end where you're fighting this creature.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. That's where the end of the barn is, and there's no window at that side. It seems like just a bunch of other boards were nailed as cross members across the beams of the wall, and various hooks and things for mounting body parts and flesh and tools and just entrails are just splattered all over the place. The hay nearby the table is also soaked in blood. You might be able to see a few appendages sticking out of the hay, but most of the hay was moved towards the front of the loft to make room for this creature's dark experiments.
Okay. And is there like a railing on the loft, or is it just like is there just a sheer drop off there with no sort of?
Oh, it's there's no secondary wall. There's no railing. There's just the floor of the loft. The closest thing to a wall on the further part of the loft is just there's maybe three and a half rows of hay bales in front of it.
Okay. And I'm wondering, does our attack seem effective at all? I mean, do we seem to be wearing this thing down? I mean, obviously we've cut pieces off of it and lit it on fire, but does it seem like it's moving any slower than it was at first, or I mean,
it apparently seems to be getting clumsier as it's going, and its laughter is growing in the rate of madness you could hear in it. And then
okay.
the injuries that it's been suffering seem to drive it to fight a little harder, but its initial attack, the attacks were spot on, and it tore you apart, and its next round of attacks just it missed completely, and it took almost its entire turn trying to struggle with the blade to pull it out of the wood, and that's when it stopped and was like, and showed some frustration. And after it got its blade out, it went back to its maddening laughter.
Okay. So I guess I'll keep him up here this turn. I'm gonna.
Oh, I forgot to roll a save to see if I end the fire damage, and
okay.
I do. The fires rapidly die out, and we'll say that's what triggered his maddening laugh to come back.
Okay, well, if he's no longer on fire, I'm going to make an attack on him, and I'm now completely targeting that arm. I mean, I was before, but I am still. I guess that's all I'm saying. I am still targeting that arm, and I've already used power attack. I don't think I can use anything else right now, so I'll just roll the. And what's the escalation dice at?
Currently, I believe it is. No, he uses. No, he didn't use it for this one. It's at 3. After you go, it'll go up to 4.
Okay,
No,
so
not after you. After Lady Dumat goes, it goes up to 4.
Guess this is a +8 on this attack roll then.
Okay.
17 plus 8, 25.
As you swing at him, I'm assuming you did the same thing you did before, as you knocked the one remaining humanoid arm away and tried to attack his. He throws his face in the way, retracting the tongue rapidly, and he actually manages to catch your blade in its teeth.
Uh-huh.
And as you pull your blade away, you do manage to cut the side of its mouth slightly, but the damage seems almost negligible to the other blows that it's received so far. You rolled a 2, right? It was a natural even miss, so that's
wait,
your.
What do you mean? I rolled a 17. It was a 25 to hit.
Oh, I thought you said you rolled a 17. I mean, total.
I rolled a 17 plus.
Oh, I see. It looks. Yeah, it looks. I can't really see the what you call.
Is it backwards? Because it's backwards on my fucking screen. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, no. You hit it. What it does. This is what it does.
Okay.
Roll your damage.
Okay. So 8 plus 3, I think, right? 8 plus 4, actually.
For your melee is
8 plus 3. 8 plus 3, yes.
So that's 11 more points of damage?
Yeah, 11 more, yeah.
Alright. So it does still throw its face in the way, and it does still manage to catch your blade, but only slightly after it digs deeply into its face.
Okay, cool. And
and you notice that the eye of it. Matter of fact, you notice that the eye on the side that has living flesh, not the undead graft, that eye rolls back into its head.
Okay, and then seeing my opening here, he's gonna try to spit at the arm now that he's gotten it. He's deflected both the head and the arm He's going to try to spit at the. He's like leaking on him. So I'll roll that as my my quick action this turn, and this is just going to be this is against his PD.
I have a quick question. When you roll damage, it was 11, right?
It was
It was.
yes.
What was the damage dice? Do you remember the specific number on the damage dice?
Oh, for fuck's sakes! I think it was like a.
Oh no, never mind. It's a natural even hit. I thought it was something else.
Yeah, I had a 17 to hit. My natural. Yeah, I didn't get the deadly insult, unfortunately. And I don't
Just
believe.
trying to help out.
Yeah, I feel you. I don't believe I rolled a 1 either. I think I rolled like a 2 and a 3. It was something pitiful in the middle. A 2 and a 5 or something. Okay, so this is the spit attack. It's a plus. I just looked it up and then I got distracted.
The escalation die is at 3.
So a plus 7 against his PD.
All right, so go for it.
21.
Yeah, you just roll your damage.
Okay, so I believe this one's just straight up 2d6. Hopefully I'll finally hit my goddamn target this time. So only 6.
So yeah, it just you do manage to hit the arm.
Nice.
And do 6 damage.
Mm-hmm.
And the undead, the side of the living flesh.
Uh-huh.
The brow line is undisturbed, but on the undead graph, the eye looks you straight in your eye, and that one eye furrows its brow, and the long bovine tongue starts to come out of the wound where it bit down on your scimitar, and then you can see the tongue sliding around from the side of its face, coming out of the side of its face, and then it goes around and it wraps around the back end of your blade, and then wraps around your blade, totally holding your blade in place.
Oof. Okay.
And if everything is all right, I believe it's Lady Dumat's go.
Yep, that should be good. I don't think I can do anything else. So.
All right.
You can try to run.
Now the chanting continues.
we're gonna sit here and fight this thing until it kills us.
So now I'm going to channel the power of the Mad Knights again.
You can only smite once per battle.
No. I'm channeling the power of the Mad Knights. It's an RP thing.
Okay.
Mechanically, it does nothing.
Remember to roll your d6 too for Elven Grace for this turn.
Of course.
A 3 or less, you get your additional action.
So no, it's not.
Oh God! All right.
Now, our dear lady will be continuing her discourse. And no power held by any god or spirit may save you, creature, from our wrath. For we are the Mad Knights, and we shall end you. For this battle maiden swears it, and she moves to do a swift motion that should be decapitating the head of the abomination.
Sure. Go ahead and roll it.
Okay, so it's
Oof.
miss, because it's like 3 plus
9.
plus
It's 3
6.
plus 9 total, so it's only a 12, and that is not enough to hit it. That is not enough to get a square hit, but you do manage, to graze its neck and dig slightly into one of its jugular veins. as it didn't even try to dodge you because it's holding Thyr's scimitar tightly in its mouth.
So, is it bleeding now? Because,
What happened?
you know, I'm asking, is it bleeding now? Because we kind of caught it in a lot of places.
Well, yeah, it was bleeding a little bit. Of the previous wounds that Thyr unleashed upon it. However, when you hit it with your smite, all those wounds burst into flames and cauterized. But this brand new wound that it just took, the one to the mouth, is bleeding a bit, and the one you just cut into it, you can see a few drops of blood starting to ooze out of the wound.
So it should be digging. I mean, it should be taking something like bleeding damage. Although I'm not sure how this works.
Well, that's the blood is from an RP standpoint.
Ah, okay. So it's the creature's turn now.
Yeah, the reason it burst into fire last time was also, it's not necessarily in the rules. I did it because I really enjoyed your prayer.
All right.
So the escalation dice does go to 4. However, this is what the creature does. The creature is holding Thyr's blade in its mouth, the teeth clenched tightly, and the tongue wrapped around the blade. And you see the eye, Thyr, staring straight into your eyes, and that one undead eye is just in an immense amount of intense anger and fury, and you could hear it breathing under its breath. It's like, and it's starting to clench down even tighter. It's shaking with the tension that is just being in its muscles. You can see the veins in its neck pop out, the striations of its muscles on the living side just pulsing, and then the arm comes up and it swipes, but the arm misses you and digs straight into the ground, and then you notice that the area on the between the shoulder and the neck towards the back of this creature, the stitches start to pop, and they're popping, and it's still looking up at you from its crouched position. You're crouching along with it as it's holding your blade in its mouth, and then you notice as the stitches start to pop, the eye on the undead grafted side, those stitches start to pop as well, and it sinks rapidly into the creature's skull. And then you notice that the back of the arm, the base of the arm, pulls out of the creature's body, and then several bony appendages unfurl and dig into the wood of the loft, and the saw blade is rapidly pulled out of the wood, and it looks like some sort of twisted, undead, scorpion-like creation, and it scurries off. And that's the end of the encounter.
Okay.
Uh, then
It's like, they won't run! Fuck, what am I gonna do?
Lady Dumat turns to.
Yeah, and the body, after it runs off, it falls limp.
Yeah.
All the body with the living flesh on it falls limp.
Yeah, Lady Dumat tells Thyrl, by the way, I was joking about that Scorched Earth campaign. I was in the moment.
And he kind of looks at you with almost surprised as he's just about to open his mouth to ask you if you're all right, and instead you see the look of concern on his face kind of changed to one of amusement, and instead of asking, he just kind of chuckles and he says, "Well, I do hope so, my lady, or we'd have words."
Oh no, I was just very in the moment, and it's one of the intimidation techniques that I've learned that during my time with the Mad Knights. You have to chant as crazy as possible to intimidate your adversaries. I hope you didn't get intimidated as well.
As she says, staring into you with lion-like eyes, unlike any elf you've ever known.
uh, he says, he looks at you and he says, "Why, perhaps if I was on the other side of this thing, maybe then." Uh, but yeah. Anyhow, I'm going to praise the situation. Did you say there was not any kind of window or opening in any way to see what's going on outside
If
from up in the loft?
if there was on the loft, it has been boarded up by all these crossboards that all these body parts and tools and hooks are mounted on.
Okay, so that's kind of gross.
So, what's our plan of attack now? Because I don't see any way to get out of this mess.
so
As
Thyrl
as
would.
you're talking and on up in the loft, you
Mhm.
hear the door.
Uh, so I look down, but as I'm doing so, I quickly move toward to the ladder in preparation to kick it away and take a look at what's entering.
As you move towards the ladder and you do manage to kick it away, and it begins to fall. You see just the last bit of the blade of that of what was once that undead appendage uh, rushing out of of the barn. But soon after it, you see just a huge mass of just undead flesh, and then you hear just hundreds of clawing sounds, and
Coming.
you it's coming from the door and it's coming into the door, and as it's pouring into the door, it's almost like a ceaseless mass of undead flesh, and then once it's getting into the door and it's expanding, you notice that these are hundreds upon hundreds of undead hands crawling upon each other, swarming around each other, and blocking your only escape. And we fade to black.
All right.
So that's game, guys.
All right. Cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, that was intense.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen on the YouTubes, my name is Nelson. This has been the Creeping Dark. These gentlemen have given me the honor of running actually my very first 13th Age game. So thank you very much for that. Um, if you gentlemen once again like to introduce yourselves and plug any channels or websites if you have.
I'm Flo. I don't have any site yet. I need to create a bigger video count before I can actually do so. So I've enjoyed playing the session with you. Hope I'll see you again in another one as well.
All right. Yeah. And just like before, I'm still Nick. I do some YouTube stuff, but I don't. I haven't put out a video in like years. But if you want to find me on there, it's Test3891. And yeah, I had a lot of fun. Thanks, Nelson.
No problem. Yeah, we're done. Peace out, guys.